Welcome everybody to another episode of Unleash the Six. My name is Cam. Thanks for joining us. We have a few guests today. There was a flood in Toronto yesterday. You guys stuck in that?
Oh my God, we had on our street, we had fire trucks helping pull up their vehicles because they had gotten stuck. And at one point, a gentleman was walking across and the water was up to his knees, like they were wading in it.
I saw pictures of the DVP being completely flooded. You were saying there's a waterfall
at Union Station.
Yeah. And I know that the GO trains as well, when they leave, some of the exits were flooded. So you had to take another route.
Yeah, so I was stuck at the mall.
And then there were power failures everywhere, so it was pretty chaotic. So for that reason, yeah. Mario and Luigi. So let's just do a quick little introduction for everyone. So I'll start on my right.
Hi everyone, my name is Carly. I'm from downtown Toronto. I think 26.
Every episode, Carly's 18.
Yeah, I
think one time was 25,
I don't know, 26 or 7.
And it's always, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I am engaged, and my work status is school.
You want to show your Instagram?
Yes, so my handle is ITS_Asian Carly Girl.
Perfect.
Hi, I'm Lola, and my handle is LolaGlenn78. And I live near Burlington. I'm a registered nurse that likes to model, act, to the belly dance. And I'm over 50.
Did you mention where you're from? What part of the city?
We're close to Burlington.
Okay, cool.
Hello, my name is Cheyenne at Sam Crow Prospect. I live in Brampton. I am 32. I am married. I have 3 dogs, 2 guinea pigs, a cat, and a rescued bird at the moment. So we got a house full. I'm a lame officer at Oki Cannabis. And yeah, that just about sums it up.
We actually had, when I walked into the studio today, there was a bird in the studio flying around. I have no idea how it got in here. And it's a little tiny bird. Poor thing. It's been here for at least a couple of days. So I had to open the windows and finally find a way to get it to fly out.
I was going to say, do you want to adopt another bird?
I was going to say, is it still around?
No, it took off. Tastes just like chicken, but... Okay, so moving on. So Cheyenne, you have this interesting topic that you wanted to discuss. You want to kind of do the little intro to it? Or?
Of course. Okay, so hobby horsing. This is a thing. So this is a national sport, and it began in Finland, and it got more traction when a woman named Selma Vilhunen, I hope I pronounced that right, she started an online forum called Hobby Horse Revolution, and it just kind of took wind. People have become more enlightened to what hobby horsing is now because of this. So essentially, the hobby horses that we used to use as kids with the stick and the horse head, this has now become like a competitive and a national sport among all age groups, not just children, young adults, and adults.
So do they have like different countries competing?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like it's all over. It's quite interesting.
And you were saying it's a national sport.
It is.
Finland.
Yeah. It's crazy. And so essentially, their perspective is. There's no need for stables, feeding, or cleaning up after real horses. But here's the thing. There's people that own horses that are riding their hobby horse beside their real horse, which is kind of a fuck you to people that can't afford a real horse.
Yeah.
And then they say it does help with cardio and strength and coordination and all that stuff. But essentially anything involving jumping would do that. So jumping jacks. In my opinion.
Christian, can you play the video just so we can... This is the champion, I believe, in Finland, right? This young lady here.
I'm Eva. I began hobby horsing when I was 13. Started really competitively by the time I was 17, and I'm now 47. The friendships are strong. Just always surrounded by women. I like to be surrounded by. I like women. Obviously, this is my main horse. As they say in America, my ride or die. This is grandmother. I named her after my grandmother. It is a real competitive sport like any other sport, say bowling,
This is grandmother named after my grandmother.
football. Some people try to understand. I try to explain to the Americans, I am the Michael Jordan of Finland as far as competitive hobby horsing goes.
All right, so we just met the Michael Jordan of
You
hobby
gotta have
horsing.
balls to compare yourself to like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what does your sport do that's like basketball takes coordination, it takes strategy, it takes teamwork.
Basketball is intense. This is bullshit.
That's what I'm trying to
This is-
say. 100%. But this is the best part. People like you see her wearing a helmet. They dress up, and that's part of the judging. Is like your costume, like
Your posture and all that.
all
kind of
of that. It's.
Are they like neighing as well too, making horse noises?
See,
or no?
that's honestly, I did look that up, but I couldn't get confirmation. But I could swear in some of the YouTube videos, you can hear it.
Oh my god.
So, yeah, that's also.
Again, I think people have got too much free time on their hands. Like, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think this is actually a sport? Like
It just looked like she was frolicking around. Like,
jumping over pieces of log. Like
yeah,
just a piece
she
of
looked
wood.
happy. I don't know.
Honestly, like it's a view of their view is it's escapism, but my thing is like that's taking it a bit too far. We're indulging in escapism as a society, and it's adding to delusions.
Well, you know, I would rather have this than have families acting like that they're animals. Right? Like, you know, we talked about this in some of the other podcasts where we had that lady who was very distraught that a veterinarian wouldn't see her son, even though her son identified as a cat. And she was really upset about it. And we talked about how some school boards, I think in North America and also in Europe, are considering having litter boxes in bathrooms for children because their family identifies as a dog or a cat or whatever it is. So I would rather this any day of the week than a child who's 4 years old and thinks he's a cat and he shits in the litter at school.
This is how it starts, though. And then what's going to happen is you're going to have people renting horse carriage rides
Or stables. And people
for
live
their
in
hobby
stables.
horsing. And then I could see it even elaborating.
Well, I mean,
Like-
listen, like, you know, if you go to some parts of Southeast Asia or even South Asia, you've got, like, you know, rickshaws where a person is pulling it. I don't know what they're called.
Fair enough.
Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
But at least they're not delusional. They know that
Well, they're not, yeah. They don't think they're a
And
horse.
then one day they're gonna start identify themselves as a horse.
like, you know,
Which I'm sure is already happening.
it can escalate. It can escalate.
I mean, the fact that this is happening in Finland, of all places, there's very intelligent people in Finland. Finland, I believe, has the longest life expectancy for men.
They have one of the best education systems, too.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're very healthy people. I guess they've got just too much free time. on
It
their
feels like I
hands.
feel like they're a little bored, but I feel like it's just like like the judges. The competitions are judged on their creativity, their technique, their performance. So these people undergo rigorous training like throughout the year. Like
I understand.
So next it's going to be the Olympics. They're going to start campaigning to be in the Olympics. You watch because it's
Yeah, but-
like long jumping, right?
We just watched this woman jump over walk over a piece of log.
Some of them they do take high
What?
jumps though. They do some videos if you do watch they jump pretty high, but it's the fact that you're gonna do that. Why not just long jump? Like I don't. For
But
me,
just
it's
do track and field.
you know what? For me, it's just adding to a delusion that doesn't need to be there, and that we're confirming something that should maybe be checked in.
Yeah, I think it's a sickness. I don't
It's
know.
weird.
I mean, if you have that much free time on your hands that you want to go get a hobby horse, name it after your grandmother, and call it grandmother, like that's really original. And then say, I like women. Women, I like women. Okay, I was what that even meant. But this is another sign of crazy to me.
Honestly, it was just so interesting. I went down a rabbit hole and I watched hours and hours.
I actually saw clips of this, but I thought that it was just like for fun.
I thought it was satire. I thought it
Yeah.
was like a joke, but then I went into it, and people are very serious. Like they do spend quite a bit of money, like dressing up their horse and stuff. And it's like,
Dressing up their horse, it's a stick with a.
oh yeah, no, they go hard.
With
They
a
make the
plushie.
eyes like realistic. Some people even go as far as like getting taxidermists to do the eyes so they look more authentic and real, and that's all judged in the competition. So it's kind of like you're getting judged for your arts and crafts skills. And then like your gym, like your jump, like you got like to me, it's just come on,
Just has Halloween vibes.
you know? Like,
Yeah, like you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if it does start showing up on sports channels. around the world where they actually have like a competition. Like, you know, if you watch like tennis matches, where they actually have like competitions like this.
Well, I remember back in the day, pogo sticks used to be like when they
Yeah.
came out, they tried to, after a certain point, advocate for that to go into the Olympics because people can do it like parkour, like competitive.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
That, I agree, would be more authentic to go to the Olympics because you're taking more coordination, skill, strategy, all that kind of stuff.
Have you guys ever seen those slap competitions?
Oh,
Christian, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was watching that last week, and there was two guys, and the one guy, after receiving a slap, his entire face was swollen, like the side of his face, and there's like blood coming out of his mouth, and he continued. And like they can get like brain damage from this shit. Like it's crazy. And I was watching like, you know, on TSN, they were showing a competition, I think it's in Canada. And they're like in this little dingy bar, and they just put up a table with a neon sign behind them, and just two drunk guys just slapping each other out. And it's a competition.
I also see videos about girls doing that.
Yeah,
slap
yeah,
face.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh my
Like,
God.
how is that a sport? Like, I don't understand.
Depends how much you're getting paid, though. I don't
Even
know.
then, but what, I don't understand, what is this, what's the skill there? Who can take the bigger hit without going
do they
unconscious?
train their face to be slapped?
Yeah, that's a good point because arm wrestles, I understand. I could.
No, I think they basically just train the swing. But that's really funny if they were actually training their face to take
But
slaps.
you're getting slapped, so you gotta also train your face
Endurance,
muscle.
yeah.
You know?
Well, maybe they have to like, know, if they should clench their jaw or not at that time, or what they should be doing, their posture as well.
Maybe some people cheat with filler in.
Could be.
Yeah, how do they judge that?
I think some of the men have beards, so they say it's supposed to kind of, lighten that up a bit.
Do
But
they do it like by weight class, I wonder, or by like height, like how, or like arm length? Like how do you?
no, I don't
Is
think
it just like you when you go?
that's what it really is.
That's my I haven't seen any kind of classification of how they pick the two people.
I don't think that has to do with the weight. Maybe it does. I don't know.
Well, if
Had a
some
discussion about it when you got down to see.
What?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's not, but
Or
Dana
bored.
White was pushing for it.
Well, Dana White wants to make money. He doesn't give a shit, right? Because that's not mixed martial arts. I'm sorry. Slapping somebody across the face is not a skill,
No.
and being able to take a slap is not a skill, right? So, and if you have, like an MMA guy doing that, he can break your jaw with one hit.
Yeah.
But when I was watching it, they have these when they're competing. Some of these people, when they're slapping the individual, they do a thing called clubbing because they firm up their hand, and that's not allowed, right? And there's a few other things you get penalized for. So it has to be an open hand, right? So some of these guys cheat, right? And that causes way more damage if you firm up your hand technically.
Yeah.
So it's this is way worse, this hobby horsing thing. I can understand if it's kids doing it and it's fun for them, that's fine. But a woman who's in her 40s doing this and saying she's been doing it for 30 years,
That's insane.
that's,
What's
to me-
insane is I just heard about it, and it's been 30 years that this has been around. Like that's crazy.
Well, it means it's gaining traction now,
I
right?
wasn't even born.
You know,
when she
that's
started.
right.
Oh my god.
And she's really proud as well. She's saying she's the Michael Jordan of hobby horsing. Like
Yeah, that's
she's
proud.
done, Michael Jordan must be proud of her too.
Yeah.
He must be like, wow. Like, what's her name again? What was the lady's name? Vaughn sends something. So Michael Jordan should be saying that I'm the Vaughn sent whatever of hobby horsing.
It's cool. Yeah.
So yeah, let's move on to something a little bit more serious. So I'm sure everybody's heard about the assassination attempt of Donald Trump, right?
Yes.
Yep.
And there was a lot of videos that are out there. Mainstream media is not really showing all the videos. So I was able to get some videos of what actually kind of led up to this, right? So I'm going to get Christian to play one of the videos. Chris, want to do the first one where you got the people talking about pointing things out? Let's have a look at this.
Look, they're all pointing.
The Atlantic, maybe the Pacific.
Yeah, someone's on top of the roof. Look, there he is right there. Right there, see him? He's laying down. See him?
Yeah, he's laying down.
And still I'm here with you fighting cartel to get us sentenced.
What's happening?
And to make sure we take back the White House, because if we do, we're going to make America better than ever before. We're going to make it.
Yeah, look.
And it's
There he
not
is.
easy. because we have millions and millions of people in our country that shouldn't be here. Dangerous people, criminals.
This is fucked up.
You just comfortable.
Like he's just like lying on top of a building, like a tin building. He's right there. And then people are yelling, "Man on the roof."
So casual.
I love how he's like laying down, like.
So you have these people who notice this guy about 80 seconds or 90 seconds before he actually started shooting. So he was able to climb onto the roof just by putting like a box there, or just stand in the box and climb up. And he had I don't know what kind of a rifle he had, but he had a scope on it, right? And he was able to position himself, and he's lying down flat. The roof had like, there's a V roof right up on top. So he was able to kind of hide, right, a little bit. But people noticed him. And they were yelling at the cops, they were yelling at the Secret Service. No one gave a shit. Like, from my understanding, if you have like a dignitary from a different kind of like a president or prime minister or whatever, speaking at a rally, the Secret Service scoped the entire area. They have to get clearance first, right? They'll say, okay, we checked out this building, we checked out this parking lot, blah, blah, blah. And they station people there so no one can come in now after they've already cleared that area. So I don't understand how this clown got on top of just a small tin, like.
Do you think maybe it wasn't in the radius of where they searched? Like maybe it was just outside or something?
No, he was like.
But then again, there was ralliers
He was a couple.
there,
He was like, maybe like 100 or 150 yards away. That's it.
And then there's people saying he's hired to shoot Trump.
Some people are saying that this is all staged.
I honestly feel like, because if you actually slow the video down, I swear he's almost like quarter fist pump before he gets shot. Like, I swear. Like, I don't know. I felt like it was a setup. It's just, he was fist pumping like it was a script.
Can you play the second video? So this is after. So they're speaking to an eyewitness now. So BBC is speaking to this eyewitness.
We had a party here all day at the. You can see behind us at the Brinkles Farm and Greenhouse here. We had a party, and we all decided, hey, when we hear Trump up there, we're going to walk up through the field, stand by the trees up there under the shade, and watch and listen to the rally. Right? We couldn't see him, but we could hear him. So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea, but we noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle. We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? Like they didn't know what was going on. We're like, hey, right here on the roof, we can see him from right here. We see him. He's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2-3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling the police and the Secret Service.
We were telling the police. We were pointing at him for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see
binoculars?
Could they see him?
Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went.
Well, do you know, after all this happened, his social media accounts got unbanned, like TikTok, Facebook. They unbanned him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The fact that if you've got eyewitnesses saying, hey, this guy's got a gun, that's the language cops understand. They weren't speaking some fucking foreign language. When you say someone's got a gun, the first thing you're going to do is the cops have to do something about that. You've got a person who's a presidential candidate talking, they automatically think assassination attempt, something's going to go down. I understand how, when these people are yelling, this guy's got a rifle on the top of this roof and they're pointing, and you got this guy who's just like an average Joe Blow who could clearly see the danger, but you're going to tell me law enforcement and Secret Service I don't know, man. And to me,
Especially
it's,
like U.S. people like are really like sensitive to like the word gun.
yeah, gun
So
violence.
if they hear like, oh, this person have a gun, either police or the Secret Service will literally shoot him down
yeah,
first.
or at least act on it. Do
Yeah.
something and say, get him off stage, get Trump off
the
stage,
fact
right?
they didn't do anything.
Correct. Like I can see them turning around and saying something to the effect of like, oh, we didn't know if it was an authentic threat. We didn't want to like disperse troops there, and then something else happened. You could have taken 2 guys just to go check out the threat. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like that's actually.
Well, I mean, listen, if you have just everyday people seeing someone on a roof
And
with
not
a
just
gun,
one person.
many people say, hey man, they're pointing at it. You don't need to check anything out.
But
you
here's
need
my
to,
thing,
you need to
Tony-
gain control right away of the situation. Get this guy, get Trump off the stage. There's a threat now, and now ambush this individual.
But here's the thing: this is the States, right, guys? So these are all Trump supporters. All of them watched him pull out a gun. None of them had a gun on them. In the States, you know what I'm saying?
I don't think they were allowed that in the rally.
In the rally, maybe.
Yeah, I don't
Okay,
think
fair
they'd be
enough. So
allowed.
I was gonna say if I was
Because
a
then anyone could have shot Trump.
But no, because I was gonna say like, well, he got a gun in. You know, get whatever.
He didn't get a gun in.
Do you
He
get
just-
searched when you go into that kind of stuff?
I'm pretty sure. But
Or do
then-
you just like walk?
Like, how did this guy, who's like a scrawny 20-year-old, be able to bring in a rifle, this with no problem, climb up on this one, story tin can, it looks like an outhouse that he climbed up on, like a shed, that's what it looked like, lie down with a rifle with a scope, and no one even detected him. And then you have these everyday people who are there who support Trump are pointing them out, and no one did anything. That's one. 2, someone actually died. When this guy was shooting, supposedly a person died, he was covering his family, and he got
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah.
And another person got injured. So a lot of people are saying this is staged, that it's fake, because it's going to, of course, now Trump's going to win. But how did, they actually kill someone?
Okay, you know what? My dramatic ADHD, it's far-fetched, but hear me out. How do we know? Because he's a young kid. Kids are good with technology. How do we know he wasn't like one of those super black hat hackers? And the government was like, we're taking Trump out. You're going to do this, but then we're going to kill you. And then you're just going to come work for us. And don't worry, your family's going to be well off. So my thing is, I want to see how his family's living in 5 to 10 years. Do they have a new house? Do they have new cars? That's where my dramatic brain goes, because you are right. There has to be a dead body. There has to be a funeral of some sort, whether it's closed casket, whatever. But that's where my brain goes. It's like there's a deeper level there, and I wouldn't put it past conspiracies with their government.
Well, let me ask you this: if that's the case, why wouldn't the Democrats investigate this? If it's such a hoax,
Well,
right?
fair enough.
Unless they're in on it as well too. Who
Well, that's
knows?
what you never know. It could be like a whole underlying thing.
Well, he's going to win no matter what. I mean, he was bound to win either way, because Joe Biden was just like. Have you guys seen some of his videos where he's talking?
He's a geriatrics. Like
Christian, can you just look for one while we're talking about his? I saw one video where he was just like talking about how we're going to make sure that we're going to have Medicare for elder people, and then some gays will be.
He doesn't know what he's
Owen.
talking
He
about.
wanders
I was like,
off
what
with
do
his speech,
And then he just stops.
and then he's like,
And he's
"Oh,
like-
like what was I talking about?"
Yeah.
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 So I mean, he cannot. Like that guy, he will not win. He will not get elected. They know that he's not fit. I mean, neither is Trump as well. Trump has done that as well too.
If Biden won, who would be the vice president?
Again, the same woman, Pamela Harris. She's running with him, right?
Maybe Pamela has a plan to become president and wants. I don't know.
You think a black woman's going to win before a white woman's going to win? I don't see that happening.
I don't know. Trump won.
But he's white,
Fair.
That's not
Okay.
black.
Oh yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
right? I mean, Michelle Obama then has a chance of running, right? I think a white woman is going to become president well before a black one. So, what's this?
It's a video of Biden.
Yeah, let's watch this. Let's just get right into him.
We go back a long way. She was 12, I was 30, but anyway, this woman helped me get an awful lot done. Anyway.
What? What the hell was that?
But Biden was disgusting on his
She
own,
was
though.
12 and I was 30.
That was not what I was trying to show you.
No, I'm talking about him just falling asleep, right? That's what I call him Sleepy Joe. So, unfortunately, I mean, I don't know if it's going to make a world of a difference if Trump gets elected over Biden. We were kind of discussed that earlier, of what's going to be the outcome for
Canada.
So I watched a video where Trump clearly said if he wins, he will help push Trudeau out. That's why he doesn't like Trudeau. Remember that whole thing about Melania Trump and how she was staring at Justin Trudeau at like a G7 thing?
No.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And she was like looking at him like he's his dreamboat, whatever. So that kind of pissed off Trump, right? But Trump and Trudeau don't see eye to eye. Because, I mean, Trump is supposedly conservative, but Trudeau is just way too liberal. So I think getting Trudeau out is a plus for Canada. You know? I actually voted for this guy like years ago, but I would never vote for him.
Way to own that shit.
Oh,
You just-
yeah.
I
No, I
voted for
did.
him. I made a mistake.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
just
back
straight
then when he
up.
first got elected, he actually was making a difference.
Growing up, my dad was
But,
always
you
like,
know.
when you vote, it's private because if you make a mistake, then no one can hold it against you.
And then he just told you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think he's going to win anyhow, whether Trump won or not. I think he's out. Pierre's going to come in. But with Trump, I do feel that some positive stuff's going to happen. I believe the Ukraine-Russia conflict will come to an end. He's going to make it come to an end. I believe also possibly what's happening in Israel. I think he's going to side. He's not going to support Palestinians. It's going to be very tough for them. But he's going to try to. He wants to be labeled as the greatest president ever. So he's going to say, I was the one who was able to, resolve the 70-year or 80-year conflict that's been going on in Israel with and Palestine, right? He's going to say, I'm the one who created peace in the Middle East. So that's one thing he's going to want to do, broker some kind of a deal. So he's not a war president. He's not the type to drop tons of bombs and wage war. He wants to make a ton of money for himself and his family. That's all he gives a shit about. So
He's a businessman.
maybe he might be better. I mean,
Like,
I know he's racist.
Well, okay,
He's
that, yes,
openly
100%. But he's a businessman, and I think if you're going to run a country, you have to understand deficit, debts, all that kind of shit.
That's fine, but you also cannot be racist, though. He's
yes.
openly racist. Like, he refers to those 7 shithole countries that he calls them, like Somalia. And
Okay, yeah, that's awful. Like, that's
and then he
gotta-
banned like Sudan, and he banned all of them. And he thought that because of that, all of a sudden the country would be safer. But gun violence is an all-time high. Whatever. He really is. He's an open racist. Like, that's a given.
I know
You were
it's
just
awful.
saying, what did you say, Carly, that he had said if he wins, he's going to do what?
He's
Deport?
gonna deport all the immigrants in U.S. Like,
What the fuck does that
All
even
the
mean?
Even if you're an American
That means
citizen.
but that means everyone's an immigrant. Like only the indigenous people can stay. Like everybody's an immigrant.
Fuck.
What does that even mean?
My dad immigrated here, so like you get what I'm saying. Like that's stupid. You can't if someone.
So something like that. This guy that we just watched with the carrot top guy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. All right. Get rid of all the immigrants.
That I don't agree with.
You yourself are an immigrant. Like, what are you talking about? Right? Everyone who lives in the U.S. aside from the indigenous people are immigrants.
You're right. Yeah.
So maybe he's saying the people who are not American citizens.
Yeah.
He's gonna and again he'll
let's hope so.
he'll pick colored people, not white people, right?
And definitely Chinese. I know he hates Chinese people.
That's
Yeah, he has
awful.
a thing against China, right? He has a beef with China.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, him and his daughter, they do so much business with China.
Yeah.
A lot of the products that he sells, like all of his "Make America Great Again" bullshit, all that shit was all printed in China.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So it's like, what the fuck?
Catch-22.
And his wife, his daughter as well, half the shit that she sells online is made in China. But then you're at the same time bashing China. Like,
That's awful.
but again, these people, the reason they have this narrative is to get votes, right? So the Western way or the American way, even in Europe, some countries like that, but especially the American way is, if there's something wrong in our country, it's somebody else's fault.
Yeah.
Somebody else has caused this, right? If unemployment's high, it's the fucking immigrants, If the cost of this has gone up, they always will have to blame somebody else aside for themselves. The government themselves will not take responsibility. And Trump is amazing at deflecting stuff, right? He's
I didn't know it was like that bad. Like that's like.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, listen, Trump has got some good qualities. I'm not going to say he's all bad, but he is a compulsive liar. Like everything out of his mouth. Don't you guys remember when he was running for president? When he was president, I forgot which news outlet it was, but they kept count of all the lies that he said whenever he spoke. And by the time he was done his presidency, it was in the tens of thousands of lies that he had said. over and over on his social media platform or whenever he opened his mouth. Just constant lies. He never ever had a press conference where he didn't lie.
It's like he's making being president a reality show.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, because that's, like, awful.
Well, I remember when he was interviewed in the 80s, he had said, and you can find the clip online, that it is so easy to become president of this country. You just tell people the bullshit they want to hear, and they're going to elect you. So he's smart that way. He knows what to say, what to do. Whether he believes all that stuff, I don't think he does. The part about hating China, I don't believe he actually really hates China. He does that for votes.
I mean, he is a businessman, and a lot of business is with China, so...
Of course.
That's where I'm kind of, like, coming from. Like, you got to keep some sort of relation and network when you're doing business, right?
Well, but even if he says he hates China, it doesn't mean the U.S. is not going to trade with China.
Yeah.
Like, that they trade, that's just not going to happen.
If not, they go to war a long time ago already.
Well, they can't. Both countries rely on each other so much. It's impossible. It's like Canada and the U.S. Canada and the U.S. trade the most out of any other country in the world as neighbors. No one else trades as much as we do with the U.S. than anybody else, right?
So you got to keep relationships solid.
So even if Trump was in power and he can bash Canada as much as he wants, it doesn't matter. There's a huge population of Americans who rely upon their trade with Canada. Or because if you see Canadian cities that are the most successful are the ones that are the closest to the U.S. border. The ones that are further away are like, hick towns.
Sure.
Right? The ones that are closer are the ones that do very well. So they do a ton of trade every day. Like tons and tons of trade that we do with the U.S. and U.S. buys a ton of stuff from us as well too. So he can bash Canada all he wants. It's not going to stop that day-to-day business taking place. Same way with China. They can bash it. That's all it's really more for ratings and getting votes.
That's what I mean. It's like reality TV.
That's
right?
just bullshit, right? They're just going to create that drama, whatever. To act like that, China's the boogeyman. China's caused all the problems.
It's like you want to be an attention seeker just to get votes.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Manipulation.
100%.
Yeah, to go his way. Yeah.
Even Trudeau, I mean, I have a lot of Ukrainian friends. I have Russian friends as well too. And outside of Ukraine, Canada has the highest population of Ukrainians. So why did Justin Trudeau support them? I believe it's all for votes.
100%.
Because once they get into power, they don't want to lose that power. Even now, there's people in his own party that are saying step down, the Liberal Party, to Trudeau. It's like, no, I'm going to just allow this ship to sink, and I'm going to be the captain of it. Like, the amount of damage he's causing to the Liberal Party, the PC's going to win at the next 2, 3, 4 elections. That's the problem with these effing leaders. They should realize that, okay, if I actually care about the country and my party is actually the best party to run the country, why are you now ruining the chances for your party to get elected again? They're not going to win for a while. The amount of damage he's caused, the amount of bad taste people have in their mouth regarding the Republicans, good
Look at our
luck.
justice system. Like the Liberals kind of trickled it to a point where everybody knows that they can get away with anything here now. Like, they really, really can, right? Like, it's awful. Like, there's no kind of repercussions.
There's no consequences.
Yeah, there's no consequences to anything, right? And that's what the Liberals believe. Like, when we were talking about the stolen cars, and people were saying, oh, well, if your car's going to get stolen or at risk of getting stolen, leave your keys at the front door. Okay, great. But if you take pictures of the person stealing your car, please don't post them online. It violates their privacy.
Wow.
What?
And that was a cop who said that, right?
Yeah, that was the police station that said that. And it's like, what? Like, how are you're protecting the criminal? And not only that, you can't warn your neighbors or surrounding people to who to look out for.
It's the same thing that's happening in like malls where you have like these big retail stores and they have smash and grab going on, or liquor stores. The employees are told not to get in the way.
Yep. Actually, if you actually look at it, I've read stories where employees have actually been fired from companies for intercepting or just like grabbing the product back, whatever. It's absolutely awful. Like last Thursday, our convenience store in our plaza, middle daylight, 7 o'clock, 6-7 guys masked up, walked in, grabbed what they wanted, just left. It's like, it's awful.
The big chains are because they have insurance, right? That's the one thing.
This
So
was
for
a
them,
mom
it
and
doesn't
pop
make a
convenience
difference.
store.
Oh.
Yeah, this was awful.
I was actually given my 2 weeks suspension at a retail job I worked at for grabbing taught a girl a few sayings.
Wow.
Wow. that's almost
So in training, did they tell you? Did they mention this stuff to you guys or
I
not?
found out after. It doesn't really come
So
up.
they would have preferred if you did nothing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. All that does is you're enabling these people.
and escalating it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're enabling them now. So now they know. So now they have like a mob. In the U.S. especially, they'll have like 10 people rush into like a Macy's and start smashing things that's, enclosed, like expensive perfume bottles and all that kind of stuff. Or they'll walk into like an Apple store.
But here's my thing. If a smash and grab happens to your store, okay, a certain amount has to be broken or stolen for it to be even reported through insurance. So if not enough gets stolen or broken, you're calling the cops, and all that happens is that the insurance goes wrong. And then the person doesn't get caught. And even if they do, they go to court.
You're talking about a deductible, but these big, huge chains are fully covered, so they don't care because they're already paying through the nose for insurance.
Correct,
right?
but then you have like our smash and grab. We didn't get it. We got denied for our claims, so that was just lost.
Yeah, and I think that the reason, Chris, that they don't want employees to interfere is because they don't want a lawsuit from the employees if they get injured.
That's exactly
That's
what
going
it
to
is.
cost them millions. If you got injured, God forbid someone got crippled or shot, that's going to cost the chain millions of dollars in opposed to $200 worth of merchandise being stolen.
Worth it.
It's not worth it.
But even look at the Circle K guy. It was a few months ago. Someone came in there with a gun to rob him, and he beat the shit out of them with a baseball bat, and he's serving 14 years. And the person that went in with a gun is only serving 14 months.
Was here in Canada?
Yeah, that was Canada. Yeah. And he was a young Indian guy supporting his whole family, working, going to school, just trying to get his family set up. Yeah, now he's serving 14 years.
My advice to everybody is in Canada, you're not allowed to have pepper spray.
Oh, yeah.
But you can have dog repellent or bear repellent. And I remember I spoke to some cops about this, and they were like, when it comes to defending yourself, instead of going for a baseball bat, that's something I'd like to go for always, you spray them in the face with dog repellent. But of course, if you're in an enclosed space, be careful because some of the particles can land on you. You can breathe them in. But if you do that, the chances of you getting charged of beating the guy up with a baseball bat are slim to none. So my advice to people, you can go on Amazon, you can look up dog repellent or bear repellent, you can buy it. And it's legal in Canada. And it's a small little thing, it's a little canister like this, maybe this big.
Correct, but if you do that, you can't charge the person because by defending yourself with that, you've now consented to a fight. So you can't charge them for...
Which is fine, but I can tell you...
At least you get a chance to get away.
I mean, if you spray someone in the eyes, the chance of that person doing anything, they're blind at that point, mostly, right? So...
If you miss, then...
Well, then you deserve it, because how could you miss? Like, the person's this far away, right? And it sprays like a jet spray, so you can go like this. You'll definitely get the person. Yeah. And you don't have to even hit them on the face. It could be somewhere around their mouth.
I had to use mine. We had a customer that was outside of our store smoking, and we watched a guy get kicked out of the bar beside us for being too rowdy, drunk, whatever. He left, and my customer, seeing my husband, had his back turned, started walking towards my husband. The guy came up and tried to run after him, behind him, to jump him out of nowhere. Didn't even know each other. I yelled at him. I said, "Hey, Justin, watch out." Justin turned around. Justin got the shit kicked out of him. My husband jumped out of the vehicle. He tried to jump in to help. This guy took down my husband. Justin, I had my mace, so I'm like, okay, let's do it. I stood in front of him, sprayed the whole fucking thing. He winced a little bit. He was on I would say PCP, he was on something.
Yeah.
But so there can be...
of course. I mean, you got the same way when the cops tase some people.
Yeah, that's true,
right?
too. They just take it.
Yeah, so if you got someone on PCP,
I can't say that that's for sure, but that's the kind of attitude or behavior he had. It was intense. He ended up assaulting 3 officers.
So he's got to be on something. I mean, I'm saying the norm, if you're going to be in a position where someone breaks into your house, right? Spray them in the face. They're going to run out. They're going to leave. They're going to run. So, in opposed to getting a bat or
that's like an assault.
Yeah, because then you have the problem. They had the same thing that happened a couple of years ago, where there was a home invasion. And the person shot the individual, and he got charged for murder. Mm-hmm. But he was defending himself, and I think his parents were old, who lived in the house, and he got acquitted eventually. But the poor guy was terrified because he got arrested, he got charged, so he was worried he was going to get convicted. But he won the case. So Canada's got stupid laws that way.
Cam, he was convicted. He served a year, and the only reason he got out was because CNN got wind of it, and CNN from America made a huge stink about it, and so they let him out. They did, because Canada doesn't want it getting out how bad our law system is. CNN, he served.
That might have been a different person. The one I'm talking about, he got acquitted, so that might be another person.
He did get out though after a year though, but he did serve a full year, and he was protecting his mom from being raped in his house, and his gun was in a safe. It was insane, but it's still, the whole concept is bizarre how they protect the criminal over the victim.
I wonder why they do that. What's the reason behind it?
Stigma. They say the stigma carries around with the offender, so they don't have a chance to rehabilitate, because we believe in rehabilitation, not punishment.
So basically, the liberals are like socialists.
Yeah.
That's what they really are.
But how can you expect someone to get better in a system like that without any type of programming that will rehabilitate him? Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there's no real activities that will actually kind of therapy that's offered. Nothing that will actually reverse the thinking for the crime not to happen again.
They just think that being compassionate to the person will automatically make them change.
Correct.
Well, that's really stupid. Like, even when it comes to car theft, did you guys watch that video of that Lamborghini SUV that the cops were chasing in Toronto? No. This guy was doing like over 200 kilometers an hour, and the cops were chasing him. And they had like those tracks that they throw out to flatten the tires. He was running on a flat tire, and he eventually smashed into a police car. They had to get another car waiting for him. He jumped out. I think one of the guys got away, and they caught one. So this whole thing with this auto theft stuff has gone out of control in Toronto. And they know what's happening at the ports. All these cars are going to the ports.
My car was just stolen.
Yeah. What?
Oh, yeah, my car was stolen 2 weeks ago.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was literally stolen 2 weeks ago.
Mazel tov.
Yeah, right?
To you.
I know, right? But this is the best part. I got it stolen from my mechanic.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then this is even the better part. When I dropped it off, he told me, just don't even pay for the existing insurance you have on it. I'll put a dealership plate on it, save the money, because it's going to be here for a minute. Sure. He parked it in an area where the camera was facing, but the camera wasn't working, so now he can't put it through insurance. It can't be, yeah. So I have no car, and I paid for it full in cash, and that was it. It's all gone. Bye-bye.
What?
Yeah, gone.
Did you cancel your insurance?
Yeah, because I told him, he said it's going to take like a month or so, because he was going to DC and he was doing the job for free, labor-wise, so any kind of time he had when cars weren't on his spokes or whatever, that's what.
How are you taking this so calmly? I'd be like,
because honestly,
where's my back? That's what I'd be doing.
The guy, honestly, I've known the guy since high school. I don't have an issue with him. This was a complete fluke. He was on vacation.
You should pay for the car.
Well, I feel like that, but that's up to him. What he did offer was like, well, I can get you a good price on a new car.
Oh, wow, thanks.
Yeah.
It's so nice of you.
Yeah. After the car got stolen.
With no insurance on it. Mm-hmm. And he promised you his dealer plate would cover it.
Yeah.
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 Well, I don't know. I wouldn't let that fly.
Friends in business, guys, don't do it.
So I want to move on to, I want to play that video, Chris, regarding women. One we just played. So I'd like everyone to watch this video. It's kind of talking about where young women are today when it comes to them being kind of confused about feminism and, you know, how they should behave and what they should do and where their attitude's at. So let's watch this video.
We've created a generation of narcissistic women. And what's happened is the rise of social media and the rise of online dating and the rise of feminism has taught women that they are not to blame for any poor choices. Every poor choice is glamorized. So if you want to be a sex worker, it's great. If you want to post in bikini pictures online, it's fine. If you want to be in with it, every poor choice is glamorized, and every internal reflection is seen as gaslighting yourself. So they've even got terms for internal reflection to prevent it happening. And so what will happen is they are trained to not reflect on themselves because we've been told we've been oppressed for so many years. Now it's time to make sure we project. And so we don't take any accountability. And as a result, when we get into relationships, if we don't feel completely soothed all the time, he must be a narcissist. He must be a manipulator. He must be gaslighting. He, rather than I. And unfortunately, we've got an online market that caters to that wounded woman, that caters to that entitled woman, and caters to that narcissistic woman. And it's so wild to me that so many women talk about narcissism, but the society today is just catering to narcissistic women.
Created a generation.
So, what are your thoughts on that, ladies? Do you agree with what she's saying, or?
I agree with her because I've known women that have called their ex a narcissist, and they even went into coaching for narcissist survival victims.
Yeah,
and I know her story from childhood, and it's like, you were the narcissist. You were like completely there, and she was a con artist, manipulator, and it was interesting when she went into life coaching.
And did you point that out to her? Like, do women tell other women that? Do they like, hey, you're the problem here?
I put distance between us, and she couldn't understand. But I think she understands that I started seeing through her BS and her.
But they have so many enablers, though, right? They have so many women who are like, "Oh, poor you! You're such a victim."
Oh yeah, like she had group. Like she kept joining. I called it cults. These groups where there were. She was taking courses on
sympathizers. Right? They sympathize with her that she's the victim.
She's done a couple of coaching groups, and she doesn't do it anymore. I wonder why. But it just they all enabled her.
So Carly, do you agree with this video, or what are your thoughts?
A lot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So do you know girls that kind of fall into that category?
Yes.
Were you ever like that yourself?
Okay, to be honest, I feel like I am a little bit like that.
Okay.
Cause me and my boyfriend had a deep talk, and I feel like cause I am on social media a lot, and I feel like, I feel like I'm still in the young generation, but not too young still, but I feel like there are a lot of TikToks and Reels are showing you that, princess treatment, or you're like the princess in the relationship, you have to be treated as a queen.
Princess passenger, all that shit. Yep.
Everything. So if you see that every single day of your life, then you're gonna slowly think that, oh, you should be treated this way. Instead of maybe this is not the right way,
so being entitled, you're saying?
Yeah. So I feel like I am kind of a little bit like that because being influenced, because I'm a easily influenced girl. So it's a bad and good way, but in this side, it's kind of a bad way.
So do you have friends of yours that you feel that?
Oh yeah, actually I do. I just thought of one, but I don't think we're friends anymore. I distanced myself with her a long time ago when she did something that I do not approve of. Mm-hmm. And after that thing happened,
I'd love to know what that is.
I know I was going to say spill the tea, but I don't want to be too intrusive.
It's fine.
You don't have to say her name, but you can
No, of course not. Yeah, but it is, of course, is in a relationship. We were friends with them during COVID and everything, and then I met her in high school. So we were friends before then, but she wasn't such a high standard girl before, and she was just a simple girl. But then I don't know what happened to her. Maybe it's the people that surrounded by her and influenced her, or social media even. So she became really materialized, mm-hmm. and then also see herself higher than other people. And she also has to compare everything that people has around her. So for example, if I have this luxury bag, she has to have one that is more expensive than me. Yeah, same brand but more expensive. And then she has to wear it out and then show me and tell me who bought it for her, kind of thing.
Wow.
And then she has to show it off. So, and of course she showed it off as, oh, my boyfriend bought me this, blah, 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 but I don't really care, because I really don't care. So, I got to a point that she is starting to get really bad, as in she's starting to say bad things about her boyfriend in front of 2 different girls with me. So it's a girl group at night, and then we're just talking about it, and then we're talking about, oh, what's some good traits about your boyfriend, blah, blah, blah. And she mentioned that one thing that is not even a good trait. So it's I don't even know what that is, but it's just when you hear it, I'm not gonna say it because she knows. it's just when you hear it, it's just like, okay, like this
That's
is
how to be a good
bad.
trait.
Yeah. And then she starts saying like a lot of bad things about her boyfriend in front of us. And then after they broken up, because she cheated. After they broken up, she would, you know, keep talking about all the bad stuff that he did to her that we don't see, which like we think the guy is better without her. So like she's just putting herself at a spot that like
she's the victim, poor her.
Yeah, like, and then she wants to like justify that like, oh, like she didn't get this, she didn't get that, it's always the guy's fault. So then like after that, like, well, at first I did comfort her because she was my friend, but then after slowly I realized that, okay, like this is all your bullshit. Like you should realize, like, first of all, you're the one who cheated.
Yeah, own up to it.
Yeah, and she did mention to us before that like they were still in a relationship, and she was like, oh yeah, you know, I got a group of these like people, friends, that I have a few guys that was chasing me, like, you know, like I'm just like, what are you telling me right now? Like
you're making me a culprit with you, like.
Yeah, exactly. And then like, I mean, it's fun to hear it, but like, you know, you're still with your boyfriend, and we were all friends in a friend group, so why would you say that, you know? Like, and of course that guy has better money, you know, like not better looking, but like maybe that guy can give her more princess treatment, I guess, and like always tell her, oh, you look so pretty, and then you should deserve everything you want, you know, everything. So yeah, and then afterwards I just distanced myself to her. I don't even talk to her anymore because.
So what you're basically saying is there are women out there that are very shallow
and toxic,
right? So
but like, okay, so like I'm thinking, okay, I know women like to deflect. We're all guilty of that. But here's the thing, like back in the day when women were going to high school, there was like, what do you call it? Home ec courses that taught you how to be a woman, how to have etiquette. So you weren't bored at home. You know what I mean? And nitpicking, right? So now we don't have that way to identify with our feminism. Like, I'll be honest, I don't know how to sew. There's certain things that every woman in the 50s and 60s needed to know how to do before they graduated, right? And then that identified and helped with their feminism. And that's what made them stronger in the household, right?
Well, feminism is against all that. They're against traditional values.
Well, you know what I mean? It made them feminine.
You're right. I agree with you.
Right?
Yeah.
So I feel like when that was not, it's not even that it didn't become like a mandatory course, it was completely taken out of our curriculum.
Yeah.
So as women, if you didn't have a solid mother to guide you or teach you, then at least you had school to help you with that. But now certain women don't have that, right? So they identify with like male teachers, whatever. So I think it kind of fucks up because as they get older and they don't know what they're supposed to be doing at home, what do? They get bored. It's the other person's fault, right? They nitpick.
Yeah, but I think the problem now is that with the stuff that you're saying, people are going to say like, you know, get the fuck out of the 1950s.
It's not about that, but
because women now the view is that.
But it's like
I don't need to be in the kitchen.
100%. You don't have to, but it's like you said, most of our structure, our roads, our bridges, it's all male dominated, right? Yeah. Who hems curtains? Who hems clothes? Who does sewing? That's what mostly women.
But a lot of these women don't want to do that. But that's the problem. They don't want to do anything. They want the princess treatment. So they're going to just look pretty, get their hair done, pack on the makeup. You know.
You can't be a princess if you don't know how to treat your king like a queen, and that's taking care of him, sewing, making sure that you got what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
So these women that you're talking about, and the example that this woman is giving. These aren't the type of women who are going to land kings, right? Sure. I mean, they're going to basically land hyenas who are disguising themselves as lions.
Small dog syndrome,
right?
Yapping.
And what they're going to be doing is, because the guy might have money, he's not better looking than the other guy, he's not really like a leader that way, because he has money, he'll be able to draw this girl to him, but there's nothing really.
Well, the reason I say that is because it's not that I feel like I'm a narcissist, but sometimes I will deflect with like my husband and it's like, oh, you're not doing this, but I realize why. It's because like, you know, maybe I'm not doing something, I'm not cooking him dinner, so he's frustrated when he gets home in that sense. So that's where I'm coming from that perspective.
No, you're right. I'm just saying that today's woman is very confused. She has no idea what she stands for.
Fair.
She has no idea what she's supposed to be into. So if someone, if, you know, let's say the majority say that, hey, as a woman, you should know how to cook. Like, fuck that. I don't have to cook, right? Why do I have to be the one who knows how to cook? Oh, you should know how to hem or sew. I'm not doing that. My grandmother does that shit. I can pay someone to do that. I'm not going to do that. So whenever you try to tell the modern woman what is actually better for her in the long run, she's automatically going to rebel against whatever it is that you're saying. So they'll say, do you need men? I don't need a man.
That's why your grandmother's generation was married for years on end, and ours divorced like motherfuckers.
And they're also, their lives, like you were saying, were more fulfilled.
Yep.
Because they learned different skills and they enjoyed that part. So I'm not saying that every woman should know how to sew.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I think that gave women like an identity, and now with that kind of being lost, women deflect because they themselves don't know what they're supposed to be.
They have no idea what they're supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
Aside from being a princess and always being dolled up, right? That's the only thing that they know. So when it comes to makeup, they'll be able to give you a tutorial. They'll take 2 hours to get ready to put their makeup on. They'll know what color goes with what. They'll know exactly how to dress and all that shit. But when it comes to anything of real substance, they're completely clueless.
They're lost.
Yeah, and if they're being questioned on it, it goes back to what she was saying.
That's what I was saying. Yes.
So they'll say that the man is a narcissist, or the man is controlling. If he wants me to be at home cooking, I'm not his slave. I'm not this. I'm not beneath him. So it's kind of really sad if you think about it.
I do. I think it is sad. I do. I completely agree with that moment.
And I don't understand the value with these expensive purses. I've never owned a purse that's over $100, I think. Like thousands.
Well, you know, branding, right? So what a lot of people nowadays believe, and this is just the way consumerism is that your worth is based on what you own.
Your label. Yeah, the label.
We uncovered something recently with Hermès.
I heard about this.
Yeah. So it just made me think even deeper about this value women put, or even men too, on certain brands.
Yeah.
And that sometimes you're duped.
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, it's very superficial.
Yeah, very
right?
superficial.
So if a woman thinks that she has a Louis Vuitton purse, all of a sudden she's better than the woman next to her who bought her purse from Winners. Well, the guys are around. Whoever's giving you that confirmation is a fucking idiot.
Yeah. Well, look what Payless shoe stores. Remember what they did? They set up like this. They set up a store and they made it look super expensive, but it was all their actual shoes, but like remarketed
for $200, $600. People were spending the money.
Yeah, like they gave everybody their money back at the end, but it was a social experiment to show people are drawn to the mainstream. They're drawn to the popular.
The image, luxury.
Right? But at the end of the day, there are some products that are brand name that are better quality.
Yeah.
The generic product. I do agree with that, right? Like, so I do believe that if you go into, I don't know where, Walmart and buy like a no-name brand running shoe, or if you buy like a proper brand running shoe, like Brooks or whatever, proper running shoes, right? They're going to be a lot better than the Skechers, right? So for kids as well too, they're not going to sprain their ankle, so on and so forth.
Worth the investment.
Yeah, so that I do believe, but to have, the product that you buy feed your ego and give you confidence.
I've been seeing so many kids wearing luxury bags. Like, why? Like,
it's the parents.
Why?
The parents are doing it.
Self-worth. I guess you think, I'm valuable because...
And that's what kills me, because if I'm not sure if you guys know Shaq, the basketball player, right?
Yeah.
So when he was coming up with his shoes, he was originally working with Adidas, and a mother tweeted one day like something to the effect of, you'd think if you worked with kids so much, you'd make your shoes more affordable for kids that couldn't wear them. Ooh. So Shaq read it, and what he did was he canceled with Adidas. He went to Walmart and he hired the Adidas designers to make them look more popular. But again, it's a Walmart shoe. Mm-hmm. So people have that, it's a Walmart vibe, but you don't know, like if you actually do the research on it, it's Adidas that actually designed those shoes, and now they're only like $20, $30, but they make them affordable because kids at that age, they grow crazy.
Yeah. But unfortunately, not most people don't.
Most people won't, because
aren't like Shaq. They want to cash in.
Correct. So most people will be like, you know what? It's not from Skechers, or it's not from Foot Locker. Or
so what's that lady's name? That blonde, crazy actress who was selling like candles to smell like her vagina.
Oh yes.
She's married. You know what I'm talking about. Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yes.
Oh, you didn't know that?
A candle that smelled like her vagina.
Yeah.
For what reason?
Oh, is this? Well, I think she was just a great marketer.
And I think they were like $80 or something crazy, like $100 or.
Honestly,
Can you look that up?
I'd buy it just for curiosity.
That's disgusting.
I'm curious.
Okay,
It's like when
so
someone.
I've actually heard people guys that buy like some girl's bath water online.
Or farts in a jar.
That's just.
But
this
candle.
No, so this is right here. There you go.
Yeah.
So can you just tell us how much? What's the price of it? I'm just curious.
The label's just like
something like 80.
So she was selling a whole bunch of weird, creepy shit, but it was getting sold out.
But people think she was also very organic and natural. She also had
$75.
$75
For Ken.
For a candle.
She had a rejuvenation for the privates too.
But it's insane, right? So she was milking, right, people. Just because like Shaq is the opposite, right? So these people,
but that's
the
marketing.
problem, right? But so what happens then is you've got people like the Kardashians and all these fucking people that are profiting off everyday individuals and making them feel that you're a nobody unless you have my brand, right? And now that girl goes to school and all of a sudden, oh my God, I can't believe your mom bought you that purse. Oh my God, now she's super cool, right? And that's how it starts. And now that girl grows up. And throughout her entire life, for her to feel any self-worth, it's all of these brands that make her feel that way.
They have to keep going up. They cannot go down.
I don't know. I'm so happy.
If they go down, they're gonna feel like crap, right?
Yeah,
oh my God, I don't want no one to see me with this.
Exactly.
So they'll go to the point of buying knockoffs if they have to.
Like Hermes.
Yeah.
Hermes.
Yeah.
At the age of 20.
I don't know. My parents taught me to be street smart. They're like, the more expensive you wear, the higher chance you're going to be robbed. So think about that when you leave.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a true believer. Like, if you're gonna buy certain things, you can buy like a really nice coat that can last you for 20 years, and you'll pay for it. It's a brand, right? It'll be a good quality brand. Same thing with shoes. You can buy a pair of really nice dressy shoes. Like women have tons of shoes, so you guys should know that. You can buy some expensive shoes that can last you a long time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There actually today, I think I noticed on social media that someone was talking about this exact subject. They had Kim Kardashian. I just remembered who it was. And I guess when she got robbed in Paris, she became a little more humble. Yeah. And she was they were interviewing her, and she goes, I will never be so superficial, or I'll never have so much stuff. And then they have a picture of her from yesterday or the day before at the wedding in India, or no, Qatar.
India.
And she's saying, I have all these diamonds.
It was like a stupid expensive amount worth of diamonds all over her
so
face.
Stupid. So these people are so shallow.
Yeah.
So they have no substance.
She flipped pretty fast.
Like, please tell me, why is Kim Kardashian famous?
She's interesting.
Her sex tape.
Yeah,
that was it. Her mother is the one who got it from Ray J. And then sold it to media.
Which actually was a setup, and her mom helped her with. If you look,
of course she did.
Her own mother helped her.
Yeah, pimped her out.
Yeah.
So what skill does she have? None. Like Michael Jordan, he's got a skill. Shaq's got a skill.
I feel bad for Ray J. He was actually he had some good songs.
He was just, I think a week ago online, he was like suicidal. He was ready to take his life, he said. So, because he gets death threats all the time. But again, unfortunately, the new generation, and I think it's also men as well, but a lot more women are affected by what this person was saying.
And you have to be willing to let your ego take a hit and admit when you make monumental mistakes.
Dude, I just watched this story about this girl who was talking about why she stopped doing OnlyFans. She was doing it, and initially when she started, she had this one subscriber who was donating her significant amounts of money, and then she grew a following. And what ended up happening was she downloaded Snapchat, and it said that the person from Snapchat matched her contacts from TikTok, something to that effect. So she's trying to figure it out, and it turns out it was her stepdad. And when she found out, she called her stepdad. He didn't answer. She messaged him, and she said something to the effect of, hey, we need to talk, or whatever. And so, I know it's you. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And so eventually he came clean to her. And so she told him, you need to tell my mom, or I'm going to tell her. But it's
creepy shit.
You don't know who the fuck is watching. That's crazy. That's crazy. It could be your friend's dad. It could be your neighbor.
Well, it could be anyone in the world.
That's weird. Imagine if you were doing OnlyFans and had a job interview on Monday, and then
and then I was like, hey, I follow your account.
You know what I'm saying?
JJ.
And then you didn't get the job, and now you have a stalker. Like,
And
or you got the
everything
job.
of yours.
Or you got the job.
Or you got the job.
And everybody at the office knows now about your account.
Like, that's
It's-
wild.
But
So there's no accountability.
I've been seeing a lot of these like podcasts about like they have all these like different girls that do OnlyFans, and then like there's also some guys on the side that they talk to each other, but these girls would just justify themselves why they are right and how they don't have any problem doing OnlyFans.
They somehow, the girls somehow have this delusional idea that they have a skill.
Their ego are
Like
so high.
yeah, there's no skill there. To do OnlyFans requires nothing. All you're doing is using whatever Mother Nature gave you and exploiting it.
Well, granted, like some of it, they do have skills like production skills, editing. Like that's what they should be focusing on. You do have a talent, but you're focusing on the wrong talent. Like you
I don't know about the
And then
editing.
there-
There's nothing there that they're doing.
Some of them are pretty. I get what more generally, yeah, they're like selfie kind of, but some of them there's production. That I understand it. It could show.
You watch this stuff?
Yeah, honestly.
You watch it for the production?
To make fun of it. There's Two Turd Tony, and he is fucking hilarious.
So,
hilarious.
To me, this new generation is so fucked with this kind of stuff. Watch what's going to happen 10 years from now, when a lot of these women are going to get older, and then they're going to, at that point, they're not going to be in demand anymore. No one's going to be paying for the OnlyFans shit. Now they have to go work in the real world, right? Their children, their friends will find out. The school's going to find out. The place that they go to work is going to find out. Because once you're on the internet,
You can't hide. You can't hide.
it's impossible.
It's gone. Yeah.
Because you have people that will record the stuff or download the file, whatever. They'll record their phone while they're watching you live.
Yep.
And then they'll upload it somewhere else. Once it's out there, it's out there. You can never, ever get rid of it. So it's going to haunt them. And who are they going to blame then? Right now, they're so liberal about it. Oh, it's no big deal. I'm young, YOLO, whatever the fuck it is. You only live once, so I'm doing, there's nothing wrong with it, right?
It's like the more they justify it, it's like the more they're admitting they have no actual skills to go hand a resume in and actually build themselves.
They have no skill at all. There's no skill required to shake your ass on camera.
That is a skill. I can't shake my ass, but I'm just saying, in general, I'm just saying there is a little bit of
nothing there. There's nothing
But the
there.
only thing they're saying is like, oh, I use my own body to earn the money, so that's their only point.
But there still is zero skill as opposed to somebody else who goes to school, learns a trade, then they get better at their trade, and they go out there and they compete in the real world. They have to compete against other people. There's no competition when you're an only. Anybody, any female can create an OnlyFans account and get business.
You actually have to pay now to start working with them, and if you look, the average subscriber, it's only like $15. So the girls aren't even making that much unless you're famous, essentially. You know what I mean? People don't make that much on.
What's that girl's name? Christian Bati Pai, you know what I'm talking about? Babe, that. You don't know what I'm talking about? You want to look her up? She just disclosed her earnings on OnlyFans in the last year, and it was something like over 20 million or some crazy shit.
Paige Van Zandt was a UFC fighter, and she made more in one night on OnlyFans than she did throughout her whole UFC career.
There you go.
Fighting, going ring to ring, tournaments, training. One night, she made more money. But you have to understand, she probably wouldn't have if she didn't have that career, because everyone's like, what is she doing?
What's her name?
That baby made 52 million.
So that's intoxicating to hear. Like that's for the
I mean, she's almost making as much as Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah. But she's rare, probably.
Can you put up a picture of her?
I asked though, Cam, as a 1% man, if a retired OnlyFans model who had her own money started talking to you and you found out she was retired, you'd still shake your head no? She's retired at this point. You'd still say no?
I don't care if she's
Her
retired.
face.
I'm just curious.
She can
This
be a
woman here.
model if she want to.
She kind of looks like
she's hideous.
Before OnlyFans, she was famous for being a rapper and just like an introvert.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah. So, what was your question? If I was to meet a woman,
if you were to meet a woman that was a retired OnlyFans but had her own set of money, she wasn't there for what you had, your assets, whatever, would you go for it?
No way.
Retired.
Go for her how?
Would you date her?
relationship?
Yeah, would you
No.
date her? Even if she was retired?
No.
No?
Just OnlyFans retired.
If there's what if it was 10 years retired? No? No, the moral thing for you is still there.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on where the person's at in life, it could be, just like a little side thing, right?
What if you were dating and then found out after that that's what she did? Would you break up with her or still stay with her?
I would be with her.
You'd break up with her.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Even though you guys are with each other for like more than 3 years.
Yeah,
Well, I have to be really stupid to not know for 3 years that this woman was selling her ass.
No, I'm saying you found out 3 years later that she used to be a retired owner.
I understand. I mean, why don't we say, what if I have a patch on my eye and there's a volcano about to erupt and there's blind mice guiding me?
I'm just curious.
No,
is there a time limit?
It really just boils down to everybody has their own set of morals and values, right? So for me, if I'm going to be with a woman, that woman should be exclusively be with me and vice versa. If she's going to be posting half-naked thirst photos online every day.
But what if she's not doing that anymore?
I'm saying not even if she was, forget about being an OnlyFans model.
You're just saying
if she just had an Instagram account and every single day she's showing off her body online, and that's all she's doing, and a lot of her followers are guys that top it off, of course. Why are you in a relationship? You're not ready for a relationship. You need that attention. Obviously, I'm not giving you enough attention. It's not satisfying enough for you. You still have to seek outside validation on a regular basis, because why are you posting this shit? So, getting into if you're just dating someone casually, that's one thing, right? That's just kind of like friends with benefits. But if you're going to actually get intimate with the individual and have a meaningful relationship, there has to be some morals and values there. If there's not, what are you building it on, right? So both individuals have to have respect for each other. So if I don't respect what she's done for a living or is doing for a living, how would I be able to care for the individual, have empathy for her, compassion, and want to build a future with her if I don't respect what she does?
You should teach a class for young men that maybe doesn't have it, because that's like a great answer. You got what I'm saying? Because that was a great answer.
Well, the thing again is that a lot of people, like you'll notice, even celebrities, like a lot of celebrities in the past would marry Playboy models, right? It was like a glamorous thing to do. Oh, my wife was in Playboy. Well, I don't know, man. How are you so proud of that? You have guys jacking off to her every single day, and you're okay with that? And her nude photos, like every single part of her body, is available online for everybody to watch.
There's still pictures of her in magazines somewhere in someone's garage.
Or it's all online now.
Or in the bathroom.
Yeah, or it's all online now. So even, today, with women who've done this kind of stuff, there are people out there that glorify them and give them the status symbol that, oh, she's an accessory, I've married her, because every guy desires her. Why do you want men to desire your woman? There's something missing there for the man. The woman is yours and you're hers. Why do you want other men wanting to... So men, when they look at women, right? So the thing with men is, we desire things. So when something becomes the object of our desire, we want it. There could be a car, there could be a house, it could be whatever. So that's the thing about men. So men, when they see something beautiful, they want to own it. They want to possess it. So why would you, as a man, want other men desiring your woman?
Jealousy.
I think it's jealousy. It's an ego thing for them, right?
Ego,
it's an ego thing.
I don't know.
So it's validation.
It's a fetish too, though.
But they're insecure.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a certain man.
Yeah. So for me, my woman's mine, and I'm hers.
It's like I want to show off.
To me, I would much rather have other women look at my woman and say, wow, she's a really good guy, right? He respects her, he values her, than guys drooling over my woman. I don't need that. I already drool over her. I don't need other men to desire her to make me be attracted to her, because that's warped. Right? I'm attracted to her, she's mine. You guys go desire somebody else, right? And I'm hers as well too. So I'd much rather have men say, wow, he's got a classy woman. She's devoted to him. She's not, oh, I like to do his woman. Well, that's what happens, right? When men desire another man's woman, that's what it means. It's lust. They're not desiring her, saying, oh, what a good mother she is. They're desiring her in a sexual way. That's where desire comes from.
Yeah, that's true.
It's carnal.
It's like a fantasy.
Deep, you realize this.
And I'm going to say something really deep right now, and some people are not going to like this, but I don't give a fuck.
Spill the tea, let's go.
So, women.
Yes.
All women, and then we'll decide, Christian, if we're going to post this or not. All women had been given the ability to be slutty.
Oh yeah.
All women.
I agree.
Every single woman, because when a woman wants to be sexy with her man, what does she do? She'll wear lingerie in the bedroom. And the most sluttiest lingerie out there.
Yeah.
And a woman knows how to do that. Because it's in her nature. A woman knows how to draw a man to her.
Yes.
But is that because we know what the man really wants?
It's not just because no, it is, but it's also because it's in your nature. A woman in her DNA knows how to be slutty.
They want to be desired, or
yes,
yeah.
but they know how to be slutty. All women do. Because when a woman is with her man alone, she's slutty with him because her man likes that.
Okay. But also some women feel sexy when they wear.
You can use whatever word you want.
But it puts you more in the mood.
So listen, lingerie is the most sluttiest clothing you could possibly wear. You're not going to walk outside.
Where's the line between sexy and slutty?
Well, you've got some lingerie that's like, that's really like revealing. You're only going to wear that in front of your man.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
So it does have that slutty vibe where the man,
slutty vibe.
I'll tell you what I mean by that.
Sexy vibe.
Let me explain what I mean by slutty.
Yeah,
You're looking at the word the wrong way.
Yes.
A man, when he sees his woman wearing that, he desires her so much, and if any other man saw her that, he'd be desiring her as well too. So she has the power at that moment to have tons of men desiring her.
Of course.
Right? So a man is drawn to her automatically. So a woman, it's in her carnal DNA that she knows how to draw men to her.
Okay, he's not wrong.
And the sluttier that she's going to be, the more men will be drawn to her.
That she can select.
She still can.
She can have that power.
But we're not talking. All I'm talking about is that she has that ability within her.
Whether it's consciously or subconsciously.
And a woman in her DNA.
Yeah.
She loves the attention from men.
Yes.
It's in her DNA. Yeah. She wants attention from men. So it'll be her husband. She'll choose her husband. Fine. But some women like it from more than just one man. They like being desired.
Yes.
And what do men like to do? Men like to possess.
Yes.
They want to own it. Right? So if they see something that's hot, they want to own that thing. It's in their DNA. So men want to dominate that woman now and say, you're mine. Right? And the woman's like, oh my God, he desires me. Right? So these women who do porn and shit, who are into being swingers, that is strictly their carnal desires. They just want to be desired. They've let go all shame, having human decency, right? That veil has been lifted. Yeah. They have no more shame whatsoever. They're not shy at all. The woman is like, you know what? I know you men desire me, so you can have me. These women who do gangbangs and shit, they're fucked up in the head because their part of the shame is completely gone.
Well, they've been bad girls. I'm just kidding.
But they love being bad girls. That's the whole thing, right? So they like men acknowledging that. It makes them feel desired. So every woman in her DNA likes to be desired. And every woman knows what to do for a man to desire her.
I agree with that, and I agree that it could also be consciously and subconsciously because like sometimes with my bipolar and shit, I'll get down on myself, right? So I'll wear something nice to like make myself feel pretty, right? One time in particular, I wore something to work and I worked with one of our budtenders, Austin, and his customer comes in and great conversation. He goes, do you want lunch? What do you want for lunch? I'm like, well, I'm a little busy right now. So he went and got me a whole large pizza. So I come back, I'm like, oh, thank you.
And you ate the whole thing?
Fucking obviously. But then Austin waits till the guy leaves. He looks at me and goes, you do know why you got that pizza, right? I said, why? He goes, I can see your ass cheeks. And I looked around and I was like, oh my God. And he was like, yeah, but I think it's like what you were saying. It's one of those things that when I started getting attention paid, right? But right away, no diss to my husband, I did put on pants right away afterwards. But because I didn't like kind of realize, and sometimes you can kind of be oblivious, but then when it starts happening, you start like it.
Some women are not oblivious. They're totally clued in. They know it, and that's why they put on display.
You have to use it wisely, this power.
So women know that. So women, and the thing about women is women are drawn to men. So a woman can be married to a man and give her body to him completely. And be like, you're my man, you're my only man. Get a divorce, 2 years to get married to another man, and give her body to that man now completely. Because that's like the animal kingdom part. Like that's just, it's in a woman and a man's DNA to be that way. So she can be devoted to this one man and be married to him for 10 years. But then the marriage fails. 2 years later, she'll meet a new man and be devoted to him in the bedroom as well too. Completely devoted. Okay? because it's in your DNA. A woman wants to be with a man. A woman wants a man to take care of her, to desire her, to want her. That makes a woman feel validated. She feels good about that. So these women who are doing this OnlyFans shit, they know that every single guy that's watching this stuff is jacking off. Like, he's not watching it for a science project. Like, they know what's going on.
Yeah.
So if you're willing to get rid of your shame and your dignity for $15 a fucking month for a guy to subscribe, right? And he's able to see you in every position possible, doing like the kind of stuff you should only be doing with your man behind closed doors. I don't know how from there, if you're going to be looking for a high value man, that high value man is going to want to have a meaningful relationship with you, right? It's
true.
And don't get me wrong, some men do. The example I gave earlier, there are high value men out there who will marry a playboy.
Well, their cuckolds exist. That's a thing.
Yeah.
So,
without even going that far.
But I'm just. Yeah.
But there are men out there who like to have their woman, be dolled up.
Because they want people to be. They're like, it's a prized possession. Look at what it's a showing off.
That to me is a low value man because he doesn't value himself.
No, he
needs validation. Oh, because that man desires my woman, then it makes me feel good because it means I have a good woman.
He's compensating.
So he should already value his woman. He shouldn't have to get validation from other men.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he's like, oh, I've got a great woman, she's being desired, right? And women are that way as well too. Women like to show their men off as well. They do. They'll make him dress a certain way, cut his fucking hair. So when a woman meets a man, like, okay, this guy's got like 60%, that's good. The 40% I can work on, it'll take me 10, 15 years, but I'll do it, right? And then they start changing the guy. But men put women on display more than women will put men on display. And why do they do that? Because a lot of women like being put on display. They like being desired. It's a part of your DNA. You can't get rid of it. It is what it is. That's why women like to play with dolls and dress them up and all that, blah, blah. It's a part of that. That's why they like makeup, they like doing all that kind of stuff, because they like the attention. It validates them, right? Some women have more control, some have none. So they let it all go. Right? So.
And I think that does affect like society, because the girls that, okay, you might like makeup, but not all girls are good at makeup. So then they aren't good at it, so they don't identify that way. So then they kind of feel less of themselves, or they try to find different things that they're better in that might be more male masculated, like, sports, whatever, like that.
And even, if I take this one step further, I'm going to keep it PG, men and women, again, in that carnal part, sexually are drawn to each other. It's a sexual connection. That's the animalistic world. So a woman is drawn to certain parts of the man's body, and a man is drawn to certain parts of the woman. And it could be a different woman, and it could be a different man. But they will service that individual the exact same way sexually because they're drawn to it. It's a part of your DNA. You can't change that. So
it's good that we all like different types, though.
It is.
In this world.
We do like them, but at the same time, though, a woman, if a man treats the woman well enough and makes her feel desired, give her the attention, blah, blah, you will see women who are completely out of the league of that guy. That guy should not be with a girl like that, but he'll get a girl like that because he gives her that security and that comfort, so she will then give herself to him. So it's not just, oh, she's a supermodel and he has to be a supermodel. No, it's really based on, for a woman, it's how you make her feel, right? So it's what you say to her. For a man, it's what he sees. It's two different things. So if a man is able to make a woman who would be completely out of his league when it comes to looks feel a certain way, she will be drawn to him and she will give herself to him.
Yeah, definitely.
Because he makes her, 100%. I know I'm not wrong.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. So women, I said this before, women like what they hear and men like what they see. And that's why women wear makeup and men lie. That's a reality. Men have pickup lines and then, oh my God, your eyes are so beautiful. Goes, oh my God, no, really? Oh, you look gorgeous. Oh, really? Today? I didn't even do anything. Oh, that's such a nice outfit. Oh, really? This? Oh. But the woman wants those compliments. It makes her feel amazing. So if the guy's being sincere with them, he's got her automatically. So it's all just based on how the way that you say it. So it's a love language, right? So it's the way you communicate with the woman and how she feels with the stuff you're saying to her. So if
you're
you're
not wrong, because obviously, like, I don't do my makeup all the time, but I have artwork, like tattoos. That's my artistic dress up, right? So when guys are like, oh, I like your ink, or like that's my oh, you look nice today kind of thing. You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
So men, the men who are masters at that, they know they can read women, so they know what insecurities that woman has, and what stuff she wants to get compliments on, and what stuff she doesn't want to even talk about, right? So, and there's a way of saying it. You can be really rude about it and vulgar, or you can be a gentleman about it, right? And then some ways you can be, a little bit lustful, and there's some women will like that in some areas. So once you learn that, it's not all that difficult, right?
It's not rocket science.
No. But I did find when you're younger, it hits a little different, the compliments and the attention.
How so? So how would you compare it?
Oh, it's you believe more. That
You're gullible.
Yes. And it also just seems to lift you more. It's like, that attention and being sexy and desirable. And as you get older, it's still nice. Definitely. Because there is a power to it. But it's like, oh, yeah, that's nice. But you take it you don't take it as deeply.
Yeah, because
you realize there's more fakeness in life.
Yeah, because you've seen the world for what it is.
You've seen the world. So it's like, I'm enjoying it. I don't mind this attention. This is nice. But it's not feeding my ego as much anymore.
Well, your priorities change. Your priorities change, right? But for most women, unfortunately, when they're younger, if their life is consumed with this stuff, like we're talking about labels and all that, having a Louis Vuitton bag and whatever, blah, 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 as they grow, they cannot live without it. Because it gives them value and worth.
But that can fuck with them, their confidence,
of course,
their mentality, because when they're not getting the same likes or the same attention, whatever, they're going to think, okay, maybe I need bigger boobs. Maybe I need to dye my hair black. You get what I'm saying? And then they're conforming to a standard that's just...
It's fake. It's all fake.
Yeah.
So even if they don't, financially, they're not in a position to be able to buy themselves the stuff, they will buy knockoff brands.
Yeah.
Just to keep up that whole image thing. And because they feel that if they don't do that, they're not going to be valued, right? Which is it's really sad.
I'm an exception because that's the one thing, because I grow out of clothing so fast, so I don't like buying name brand because and I'm clumsy too, so I spill a lot of stuff.
You don't grow out of clothing anymore.
Well, honestly, you're
not growing anymore, are you?
No, but when I wash it, if it shrinks, the kind of thing, I grow out of it, whatever. Yeah. But for me, it's kind of just it's very difficult. It's very difficult.
So most women, they know exactly how to get a guy's attention.
Oh, yeah.
Most of them know it.
And we get better at it.
Of course, they become masters at it, right?
I'm so happy I'm bad at it.
But most women know. Most women know how to, but the problem with most women is that they don't know how to keep the attention. So they can get it, but for the guy to stay interested, they lose them. Because they kind of put on that same fake image, bullshit, airhead attitude, and they think the guy's going to find it attractive. No, he's going to bang you and you're done.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
He's just with you just because you look hot, and that's it. But there's no meaningful connection there.
Doesn't go
so
deeper.
Why would you think the guy's going to stay with you? Because you got nice boobs, or you have a nice ass, or the way you wear your makeup.
And then you start thinking, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
Like when you're younger.
Because you're superficial. That's it. So the guy, you might think, oh, he's so into me. No, he's not.
No.
He's into you sexually. He desires you. It's a lustful thing. Once you give that up, if you think that's going to make him be more, you're going to feel more secure, you're not. So don't give it up. Mm-hmm. Don't give up the booty for as long as you can, because the sooner you give it up, there's less of a chance of him sticking around. And if you don't have anything of substance to offer to the guy, and all you have is superficial shit, he's not going to stay with you.
There's no mental stimulation. You can't expect it to work.
You need to have an emotional connection, an intellectual connection, a spiritual connection as well too, and of course the physical connection. Those all four are equal. They have to be. You cannot be only 2% on the spiritual and 50% on the physical. You really have to make sure that all of them have got equal amounts, almost 25% each one, to be well-rounded. But most relationships, most of the connection is physical. And
then explained it.
And then it fizzes away.
Yeah.
Very, very quickly, right? So we're going to take a break. We're going to be right back. Perfect. You know the sexual thing? And I've done a lot of reading on this. So welcome back. I wanted to talk about, artists, right? Singers. There's a lot of really great young talent out there. One of my favorite artists right now is Post Malone. You guys know who that is?
Of course.
He's amazing. He's super talented, very, very shy as well too, keeps to himself. And he made it big, just like that. Like he had a couple of songs, Sunflower, I think was one of his biggest hits for the Spider-Man movie, right? And it blew up. So when I was online over the weekend, I came upon this video. So can you play this for us, Christian?
It was you walking out my door. You said you loved me just moments before. Why'd you lie?
This is Post Malone.
What the heck?
Now, the reason I want to show this is I want people to realize that the image that celebrities have or artists have, right? It's just an image. They're human beings just like us. They're fucking tacky. They're quirky. They're weird. They try shit like this. And eventually they succeed.
But here's the thing where people are mistaken with that video in particular is that video did not actually start his career. That was actually a high school assignment.
I certainly hope that did start
his high school teacher saved the video because on his actual assignment he wrote something to the effect of like, I know you're going to go somewhere, you're going to be something big. And when he did become big, the teacher posted that video and was like, this is how I knew this kid was going to go somewhere. He was different.
So, I mean, people watch this video to get a good laugh. My reason for even bringing it up is not about the part about laughing at it. It's to realize that everyone has a talent, right? And sooner or later, you're going to figure out what your talent is. Don't be shy or embarrassed to put yourself out there. Like, I mean, obviously, this is how we started off, and look where he is today, right? So, and then you have a lot of people that are fans of people like Taylor Swift and these singers, and they believe that they're so creative and they're artists and they write their music and they write their songs and they're very original. So do you guys know who Dua Lipa is?
Yeah.
Everyone knows who that is?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people in the music industry have always tried to emphasize how original she is with her music and how she has like a variety of type of genres that she targets in her music, disco type of stuff or whatever. And a lot of her stuff is very catchy, right? So let's play some of these clips here.
Sorry, 1 second.
Yo, you want to rewind that?
Stayed at home, 'cause I was doing better alone.
Copy in excess.
So I can't control it, I can't control. I was made for loving you, baby. Freezing up, locked up, can get you physical. I wanna get physical. You got me in love again. You got me in love again. Just tell me what.
I mean, I've heard of people saying all of Dua Lipa's songs are basically a copy and paste of something, but I didn't realize it was that serious.
Put the next clip on.
Maybe she didn't think
I couldn't, like, some of this stuff, I couldn't believe like how deep it gets. Like all of her songs.
I literally watched this video like 2 or 3 days ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
No doubt.
My best mistake. Someone to hold me close, deeper than I've ever known. Whose love feels like a rodeo, knows just how to take control. It don't matter which way we go, you gotta break that domino. Finally up and down we go. How we get back there, I don't know. And then got you, moonlight, you're my starlight. I need you all night, all day, all night. Party to the sunrise now, don't stop till you have lived your life. If you wanna run away with me, I know a galaxy and I can take you for a ride.
Diablo se ha escapado, tú no sabes la que ha armado, ten cuidado, yo lo digo por sí.
1979.
Yeah.
Was there one more?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do the last one.
1920.
1920.
Let's do it now or never, baby. Nothing's ever too far.
If you wanna run away with me, I know a galaxy and I can take you for a ride.
Glitter in the sky, glitter in my eyes, shine just the way you like.
Glitter in the sky, glitter in our eyes, shining just the way I like.
I feel like we're forever every time we get together, but whatever, let's get lost some more.
I had a premonition that we fell into a rhythm where the music don't stop for life.
You want me, I want you, baby. My sugar boo, I'm levitating. The Milky Way, we're renegade, yeah, 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 yeah.
You want me, I want you, baby.
How insane is that?
That is insane.
From 100 years ago. So she always has a really talented team that works with her to dig this shit up, right? But do you consider this talent? Do you think, after you've seen this, I want to kind of go around the table. If you figure this out about, and don't get me wrong, a lot of artists, even Michael Jackson did this kind of shit, right? With his dance moves and all that. But like we played, I think like 8 songs of hers right now. And she stole either the beat or the lyrics or something along the line from bands that are like No Doubt and so on, recent, right? So do you consider someone like this, now that you saw this, to be a talented artist? Carly?
Herself, definitely not. Maybe her team, maybe like the, I don't know, like the person who found these songs for her, then she might be more talented because she can dig up all these things for her.
Yeah, I would think that would be kind of like her record label, right? Who'd be, her agent would find the stuff and say, what do you think? Do you like this song? Do you want to do it? Like they might give her 5 tracks. She'll go home, listen to them, and pick the ones that she likes. But they're all like, replicas of some other song.
Yeah.
Right? So how about yourself, Olga? What do you think?
Well, I definitely think she's talented. I love her voice. I love her stage presence. I love a lot of entertainment value. But of course, she's not original and she's not creative. But she's talented.
But do you consider her like an artist? Do you think she should be getting the recognition she's getting?
Well, we love listening to her voice and we can dance to it. And I like her resurrecting these oldies, but she shouldn't get credit like she is, I guess. I guess we should be, you made us all aware how unoriginal she is. That's good to be aware of it, but I still can love it and think she's an artist.
Yeah. How about yourself, Cheyenne?
Okay, I'm in on this. First and foremost, what makes the song? The voice and the lyrics, right?
Yeah.
Her voice already sounds auto-tuned, so that doesn't even sound authentic. So right away, that's 50% off the mark. Second, the lyrics are good, but if you actually listen to them, the original lyrics sound authentic, like it's telling a story. Hers sound like she's wandering off, like she doesn't, like Biden. That's what it sounds like she's wandering off, okay? So that just does not make a good song, but it's catchy, so that's what makes the radio. I get that. But her name's Dua Lipa. That also sounds like duo, which means you're number 2, which means you're not the original.
So dua in Arabic, for example, means prayer.
Okay, but it sounds like duo, which in some languages mean to, so it sounds like you're telling everybody you're already a copycat. And then what about the royalties to the families that are supposed
I wonder, yeah.
Like why haven't they done a class action lawsuit?
Yeah, about beats, that she sold the beats or the lyrics or whatever. So, I mean, you're allowed to do covers, right? Like Levitate's a cover, so she's allowed to do that. Whether there even is like an estate for that woman who originally sang it. But the thing is that today, a lot of the artists are not original. No. They're just not. They copy beats from other artists. It's not like in the 70s and the 80s or the 60s. Those guys were very, very original. These people just regurgitate the same stuff. So record labels know what sells. And Dua Lipa, image-wise, fits in perfectly.
Well, that's why I feel like the talent shows like America's Got Talent, all those kind of like American Idol, all those shows, I feel like they give that average person, like look at Susan Boyle. Everybody looked at her like a joke, right? But even after everyone knew she was a good singer, the furthest she went was selling Christmas albums because she didn't fit the image, right? Yeah. Same with like people like,
Kelly Clarkson.
She's a great example. There's another girl who's a great singer. she did like rock band stuff, but because she didn't want to conform and she had more of like the Doors, Jim Morrison kind of vibe, which is not popular, it's like, yeah, she has her own following, but it's not radio following because it's not catchy.
It's not commercial.
It's not the summer or the song of the summer.
Yeah, it's not commercial stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it's branding once again, but it's kind of sad to see this because you have the young generation that's so much into their music, and these people become like multi-millionaires overnight.
Well, that's one thing I can say. I don't know if you guys have heard of Jelly Roll. He's probably one of the most underrated artists that actually just got recognized. Like, his lyrics are phenomenal. He just did a collaboration with Eminem, but that's what it was. It was like when he wrote some of the songs he wrote, all his producers, everyone in on it said, all right, like, this isn't going to go far. And he said, I'm not trying to make the song of the summer. I'm trying to reach people who can relate.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, that's the Billboard chart song, is his song, right? Like, he just got a Nickelodeon award, like, and so people, like, kids are dressing up as him as, like, right now. So it's like, if it's not radio friendly or radio catchy, it's very rare that it's going to get on there. It's very rare it's going to get heard.
Yeah, and most of the stuff, it's rinse and repeat nowadays with music.
Don't tell me Lana Del Rey is copycatting.
I'm sure I can find stuff on her.
No, but I heard apparently she's waitressing right now at a restaurant. Yeah, there's people that like were video.
She tweeted?
I have no idea. Apparently she was waitressing at a restaurant. People don't know. They thought that maybe she was like studying for a role. Maybe she's going to be in a movie or something like that. But no, people were filming her working as a waitress at a restaurant.
What's really crazy, some of these followers for these artists, like Taylor Swift, for example, if you say something about her, they will like attack the shit out of you. Like, it's like, why do you have this person on such a high pedestal to begin with? Like, what is it about them that makes them this demigod?
See, like, Taylor Swift, I don't understand. Like, Pink, I like Pink. I think she's very authentic. Like, she didn't sell out right away to labels. She sells out stadiums, but you don't see her everywhere because she's authentic, right? And I feel like people like Taylor Swift, it's about the image.
Or even Katy Perry, for example.
It's always about the brands, I think.
Yeah.
Like, that's how they, make
They market
them
it.
to be.
They market it.
Yeah, it's like how do they want these little girls see her as, like, Taylor Swift, like maybe a goddess or something, and then they make her a goddess, so now everybody likes her, just like all these different people.
Just like the same thing they do with boy bands, right? So it's just a formula. How they have like New Kids on the Block and Sync, One Direction.
Yep.
It's the same formula.
Even the Beatles.
You know? The Beatles were talented, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
they were talented.
Beatles wrote their own music, wrote their songs. They had some incredible
Very
talent.
original.
Yeah. So I mean, I couldn't really compare them to New Kids on the Block.
You mentioned Katy Perry. She recently had a video song release that didn't do very well.
Well, one of the complaints that people are making is the producer that she's working with.
Right.
He was actually accused of sexual harassment with another singer. And I think more than one, and she still decided to work with him. So a lot of people didn't like that, right? Mm-hmm. And she's really like exploiting herself now in these videos, like wearing next to nothing and so on and so forth, where she wasn't doing that before. So she's like completely gone off the deep end. But she bangs, like she's one of the richest artists out there.
Fun fact, she has a cat called Kitty Purry.
Oh, really?
Yes. I like that. And also, fun fact about the Beatles, everybody thinks that song, Strawberry Fields, is about drugs. It's actually not. John Lennon's mom used to run an orphanage, and the gates looked like strawberries on the top, like the iron gates, and they were painted red. And so, where the orphanage is in Britain, the gates kept getting stolen from, it was awful, but that's what the song is actually about, because his mom would work in the orphanage, and it was about his experiences working with the orphans and his mom.
Well, they have a song that's called Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, LSD, that's about acid, so that really is about drugs.
Yeah.
So they were definitely into,
But not all of them. I think you might have one or two songs about drugs, but it doesn't mean you have to
No, they had many songs, but they were always into hallucinations and, experimenting, the Beatles. I mean, the 60s are all, like, heavily
Even the
into
Yellow
drugs.
Submarine, was that?
Yeah. So guys like Led Zeppelin and, Black Sabbath, all these guys were heavy into drugs.
I think...
And that brought out their creativeness as well, too.
But I feel like Beatles was more like psychedelic drugs, whereas the Doors and stuff was more like needle drugs.
Yeah.
Huge difference.